thing. I forget what. Oh yeah, this way looks around. Here I am in the control here. Okay. Scott, umbilical disconnect. The Mercury space capsule comes with an electrical system, which is capable of producing both DC and AC electricity. That means they can have AC, DC, and be thunderstruck. Direct current is supplied by 6 rechargeable batteries, each 24 volts. The main batteries are connected by the main DC bus where most of the electrical DC systems are connected. Roger. 3 of these batteries are wired in parallel as considered your main batteries. If your main batteries should fail, you have backup standby batteries, 2 wired in parallel that keep you powered for a while. The last battery that is called the isolated battery and is used to give power to your very important squibs. Remember, squibs that power the pyrotechnics, first separation and jettison. You can check the status of the batteries using the volts gauge. Wait, great, where is that? Ah! There's the volts gauge there. So hold on, I need to somehow move the... Here! Look, I can bring it down and we can take a look. Oh. This is so sensitive! Okay, so let's do battery. First of all, let's set standby to see what the voltage is on standby battery 1. Looks like we have voltage on it. Roger. A low voltage in one of the batteries is a good indication that something is wrong. Let's flip around and see if we can find low voltage. That's not about voltage. Main, 1, 2, 3, standby, isolate, yep. Great. If this happens, it's a good idea to switch over to the standby batteries for safety. So you can go click or click. When you're on standby batteries, you need to conserve power. This is done by shutting down systems that you don't need, like the blood check, ACS, and the flashlight. Okay, so T to turn on the flashlight, or is it F? F to turn on the flashlight. How do I zoom this thing back? Oh, wait a second. Ah, there, that's more like it. Okay. These controls are miles away. I'm just floating around in this thing. Oh, wait a second. If you're having issues with standby batteries as well, see a low voltage on one of its batteries, you have one final option to connect the isolated battery to your main bus. Ooh, that's dangerous. Wow, Mitch, that is scary. Minus 17 centigrade. I'm glad that you speak sensible measurements. That's crazy. You know what? In California, it was sunny today. This is done by setting the isolation switch to standby. Again, turn off all systems you don't need, which you see the ammeter to see how much power you're drawing. That's the ammeter there, so you'd have to turn off systems like the soot fan and environmental control. Yeah, we could turn those off. Yeah, the blood pressure thing. We could reduce the soot temperature, you know? Oh, sorry, reduce the soot temperature. You should avoid using the isolated battery this way at all costs. If you have to, try to wait until you're preparing for re-entry. The source for the ammeter is connected to the same knob using the volts gauge. We're just learning about the Mercury space capsule. This is a thing called re-entry, and I'm gonna say it's not totally correct. So okay, let's get back to our original thing. Set standby battery to off. Where is that? Standby, isolate. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we set it to off. Okay, next. Roger. Isolate battery to norm. Great. ACS and fans requiring AC. AC is generated by the inverters. You have one AC inverter that provides 250 volts at 400 hertz. To the SCS system, one AC inverter that provides 140 volts, 150 for the fans, and one final standby inverter. This is all lessons basically in flying the Mercury spacecraft, which, you know, just to be clear, I can look around outside the capsule and see it floating in a most peculiar way. There it is. It just looks very black, doesn't it? But I assure you, it is very much floating around in ecstasy. So don't stop me now, because I'm having a good time. Having a good time. Yeah. You can check the status of the AC system by using the AC volts gauge. Okay, that would be there. See that? AC volts gauge, so I can come down and over and see the AC volts here. You can rotate the AC knob to see the status of each inverter set it to fans for. It is set to fans for now. If one of the inverters goes down, the standby inverter will kick in and illuminate the standby auto light. You can control what AC bus you use. Is everyone taking notes on this? Right? Okay. By setting an AC bus to either standby, off, or norm. So it is a fans AC bus. Okay. AC. Where's ACS? ASCIS? Where's ASCIS? There's audio bus. Oh, there's ASCIS bus here, right? There we go. Okay. You can also control fans bus, AC bus, right. There we go. Having fans selected on the AC volts, you can see that it's powered correctly, or by having the voltage show 150. That looks pretty close to 150 volts. Now set the bus selector to standby. It's now set to standby. Nothing is connected to the standby inverter, so it should read 0. Now set the bus to standby. Okay. Bang! And now we're drawing fans. That's awesome! Notice the fans are now powered by the standby inverter. You can do the same for the ASCIS. Let's do the ASCIS to switch it to the standby bus. Bang! Standby inverter can power both the ASCIS and the fans, but not to overload. Shut down all systems that are not critical to ASCIS. Roger. Set fans to normal. I'm not sure what ones are needed for that. Also set the ASCIS switch to norm. Great. Let us finish, as in we are now in Finland, by talking about main power consumption. Make sure the ammeter is set to main. That's the ammeter. And it says norm. Power consumption should always be in your mind. As mentioned, the power consumption by our systems can be read on the ammeter, which is here. Try to set ASCIS AC switch to off, and notice the impact on the ammeter. Bang, it drops. Look at that. See that? The maneuver switch on the lower left side of the panel, other side, is used to turn on or off your gyros. Setting this to off will reduce your power consumption. Okay, so ASCIS is my whole attitude control system, right? So where's gyros? Altitude. Let me turn off the flashlight. There we go. Squib. Gyros. The maneuver switch. Wait a second. ASCIS mode select. Aux on. Rate command. Gyro free. Where's the switch? Where's the darn switch? Oh, there. Look, it's illuminated, so I can turn that off. Bingo. It will reduce power consumption. So I do that, and now I check the ammeter, and look, the power consumption has dropped again. Roger. Fuses are also a way to turn off systems, so we can pull switches. Most systems have one or many fuses connected to it. Each fuse switch got 3 positions, 1 off and 2. Each system connected to a fuse got a primary fuse and a backup fuse. Locate the highlighted programmer fuse and set it to off. It's okay, it's not highlighted. Oh, there's it's on that side, huh? So it's got a special fuse there. There, bingo. If a system isn't working, ensure the fuse is set to 1. If the system is still not functioning, set it to 2. If that system is having issues, you're in trouble, and you will not come home from space today. It can be something else, or that both fuses have blown. Pay good attention to the various battery states, power consumption, and react as soon as possible if you see something strange. Electricity produces a lot of heat, so pay attention to the cabin temperature. Where is the cabin temperature? That's cabin air, cabin pressure, temperature, steam vent, cabin O2, oxygen. A lot of gauges here, that's cool. Avoid unpleasant situations like fire. Let's just head outside again to take a look. Look at us orbiting like the Mercury spacecraft was meant to do. This ship was made to fly, not stay docked up all night. So, that was me just doing a lesson in this game. I don't know, it's a simulator. I figured I'd like to sit through it and take a look. Meanwhile, I do have a beverage for tonight. It is a Firestone. Oh, wait a second. I have to switch over the... Oh, wrong thing. I have to switch this over. Settings. Let's show the background for a little while. You'll notice, by the way, the stairs are starting to look black because I'm stripping the white paint off it. Yeah, this is a Firestone Walker parabola, which is very important, appropriate for spaceships. I'm going to turn on this light over here, by the way, because I'm looking really dark. That's much more like it. That's the way I like it. This is Firestone Walker. So this is a... Well, this is a rather potent stuff. In fact, it's been sitting around and the labels come off it. This is 2017. But it tells us that it is... where is it? 14.5% alcohol. I don't know if you can read that there. Can you read that? 14.5%? Yeah. That's pretty strong stuff. And it's made by a brewer in Paso Roble, except that they actually had to get their buddies in Kansas to help them with it. So, yeah, this is a, half... I know, it's a hybrid. It's great! So I am going to obviously have to find... Oh, I now realize that I can't find my bottle opener. I have a bottle opener here. It is a GOP, Joseph Prusa, 3D printed. This game is re-entry. Okay. Having some issues opening this. There we go. What a beautiful lid this thing has. And again, you probably can't see that, but it looks pretty sweet. It's like a... It's got a lion on it. Damn. Lion and a bear. It's basically got a lion fighting a bear on that label there. Which is pretty cool. So I am just... Oh, look at the color of that. Look at the color of this beautiful, beautiful stuff. 14.5% alcohol. Not quite rocket fuel. Let's do some more lessons. Woo! Whoa! Yeah, let's do a little lesson on attitude control system. Wait a sec. Let's do the checklists for Atlas Ascent. Nice! So this game is not... This doesn't simulate orbital mechanics properly. I'll let you know that. It is a bunch of scripted stuff at this point. Like, I totally screwed up my orbit intentionally, and I still ended up rendezvousing with a target. Welcome to the Atlas rocket. This is a much larger launch vehicle than the Redstone LV. It has enogged thrust and propellant to take you into orbit and around Earth. Did this thing again. I'm gonna switch back to magic morphing facing stuff. It's not orbiter. Preparing the cockpit is the same as the Redstone, but today you will use the checklist found in the mission pad. Press M and click on the checklist tab. Okay, checklists. Woohoo! The only checklist you need to follow is the final checks checklist. Final checks. You can follow it manually or click run. Do the latter now. Okay, I'm gonna click run. So here we go. It tells us launch control left. Bingo. Arm the squibs. Arm the auto retro jettison. Perform a radio check. And I think for that I need to press C and then click radio check. Roger. Scott, we hear you. Roger. 555. This will highlight a switch in order that's not in the correct position. Follow the highlight and wait for launch. Okay, I've performed the radio check, and that's it. So it looks like we're all done. Let's just check. Auto retro. Yeah, we've got everything in the correct situation. So now we can actually take a look at the vehicle from the outside. Look at that. Is that not brilliant? That, ladies and gentlemen, is an Atlas Redstone. And apparently the sun is glinting off the ocean. Because hopefully it's not under the water. Why are we talking to Roger? Because we gotta get our clearance from Clarence. And get our vector from Victor. Wow. That's right. Silent Searchlight knows what I'm talking about. So let's run time forwards. We get 2 minutes to launch, so we can run this a little faster than normal. Airplane is one of the funniest movies ever, but unfortunately a new generation of viewers just don't get a lot of the jokes. It's just like Blazing Saddles, amazing movie, but kids these days don't get all the jokes. Ah, man. Thank you, Meatball Warrior. We're gonna launch just for you. Oh yeah, baby. Umbilicals disconnect. Now go back to the checklist and select the Ascent Checklist. Okay. Commander seat. Checklist.
Be along about here. Roger. Stand by for 20 seconds. Roger. 2, 1, mark.
Auto retro jettison. Should be through the right. Okay. That's it. Oh, and this one. Another step in the Atlas Ascent is the booster stage. This is considered a half stage, which will only remove some weight and 2 booster engines. I'm not sure I can explain why it's so hard to catch a fairing, because they're still not being totally clear about exactly what their plans are. Wow, I am really flexible. Look at me, I can turn like that. Wow! I'm like totally knotted up there. One thing, by the way, is that the external view stops working at some point because the game doesn't want to do like a transition from low, surface to space. Boy, this is potent stuff. I like it. 2017. I bought this when I was down at Vandenberg. It was in a Trader Joe's in Pismo Beach. Thank you, Sholvi. I really appreciate your love and all that. There we go. Now we're in space, so we can actually watch this thing flying. I don't think there's anything I'm going to bother checking. I think the game is not going to throw I don't think the game's going to throw any bad stuff at me. Yes, it was down at Vandy Wandy, as the people in the know will tell you. Vandy Wandy is exactly what everybody down there calls it. I wonder if the flashlight works in space. Nope. Look at those engines. How come the center engine is bigger? Well, there we go. Look. Atlas sustainer engine. So the Atlas, it's staged by dropping 2 engines. And that use the single stainless steel tank. I hear that stainless steel construction is back in fashion again. Anyway, it's a 1.5 stage system, which is the closest we've got to a single stage to orbit, I'm gonna say. That beautiful. Roger. Okay. To prevent the retro, wait a sec, we gotta do this. It's better set the auto jet switch to fall. Oh, I already did that. Okay, Roger. Disconnect the power by opening the circuit using the oh, we did that already. That was in the checklist. Great. Some additional security around your retro engines that are on your way to get your tool bit back. For the rest of the ascent, monitor the instruments and try to learn if you're ascending to orbit. The lesson ends on capsule separation. So So Cal Poly has like a fairly decent aerospace program, I gather. I gotta point out that I am not an aerospace engineer, right? I'm a guy that happens to like space. I know astronomy. I can at least claim to hold my own when talking astronomy. But I'm totally winging it when I talk about rockets, right? Everything I've learned about rockets, I've mostly learned in the last 10 years or so. I'm a physicist that works at Apple on completely unrelated stuff, right? I can't tell you what I do beyond saying I write awesome code. I mean, I write code, and it has to be awesome, because we have high standards. Well, this is really interesting. Have we reached space yet? There's the sun. We guess we launched just before, sunrise. I am not going to make any comment about what Apple should or shouldn't do, because that is not my remit. Hey, there's nothing that I've learned you can't learn via the internet. I'm serious. There's very little, all the rocket stuff is stuff that I've learned from the internet. Seco!
Lots of grades fired, okay.
We made it to space! Capsep! Good job! This concludes the lesson. You can end the mission by using the escape menu. Escape main menu. Yes. So Kerbal 01, you probably need to shift your center of lift forwards. Also, you probably need to shift your landing gear forwards as well, because you need to either have a control surface lifting up in front of your rear wheels or pushing down behind your rear wheels, right? Ishigo Usagi, I am not going to make any comment upon that because obviously I'm not supposed to make any official comments on that, but if I did, it would probably involve swearing. Right? That's all I'm going to say. And I don't swear. Zarvox Toral. No, is that someone from that streams Elite Dangerous? My camera is always very angry at me, but I kind of like it that way. I like having the weird broken camera because people talk about it. It's bad, and I enjoy it. It's like, Plan 9 from outer space. Umbilical disconnect. Welcome to the reaction control system tutorial, Scott. In this lesson, we'll take a look at the various systems of the Mercury capsule that helps stabilize it, as well as changing attitude relative to Earth. The Mercury space capsule comes equipped with a few systems to keep it stable and to control its attitude. To do this, it needs to know where the Earth's horizon is. Two mechanical components called the horizon scanners are detecting this. They actually are looking for the infrared emissions of Earth. Earth emits a lot of radiation, and that's thermal radiation, and space does not. These scanners detect where the sudden drop in radiation happens. When the scanner goes from the threshold between Earth and space, one horizon scanner is used for pitch and another for roll. These are operated at frequency, so if you see a sudden change in pitch and roll, this is the reason. Okay. The capsule comes with 3 gyroscopes that indicate the attitude. Here we go. And 3 accelerometers for rate indication. These can be slaved to the horizon scanner to get relative data to Earth's horizon. This is how it knows its orientation in space. Because spacecraft, as you know, the first thing they need to know is where they aren't, so they can figure out where they are. The pitch horizon scanner can only look forward with a field of view of plus or minus 35 degrees. Same with roll, but it looks to the side. If you are outside of the horizon scanner's field of view, the gyros will revert to free mode. It's not there just yet, but it's nice to have. When the gyros are in free mode, the attitude will change based on thruster changes. I look at my list of things. This can introduce an error in attitude. When the horizon is detected, they will snap back in slave mode and you will see a jump in the attitude indicators. Whoa! to automatically control the spacecraft. So the attitude indicators are here, by the way. There's our accelerometer, but these are the controls for the roll, yaw, and pitch and all that. To maintain or change the attitude, the spacecraft is using something called the reaction control system. The system can be controlled by the ASCUS to backup rate stabilization control system or by manual control. The ARCUS consists of many thrusters that can alternate the orientation. Okay. The capsule can be oriented and controlled by either the automatic mode using ASCUS or 3 astronaut-controlled modes, FBW, MB, and ARCUS. Let's first focus on ASCUS and then move back to the other modes later. The system establishes and maintains a stable platform with all 4 basic automatic modes: damper, orientation, attitude control, and reentry. We will get back to these, but let's get familiar with the controls. In the virtual cockpit, press F5 to move the camera to the stabilization control panel. Bingo! Okay. That's looking straight out ahead. Square named ASCUS mode select with 3 switches confirms this system. Wait, where? Where is that? Where's ASCUS mode select? I thought that was down there. Oh yeah, ASCUS mode select. It's right there. 4 pull handles. Yeah. Currently, it's considered to use ASCUS to control the spacecraft. This means that it will slave the gyros to the horizon scanners. 2 switches need to be in position to enable full. First of all, set ASCUS control must be set to normal. ASCUS control is set to normal. And the middle auto switch is already there. Check the black manual handle must be the in position, so you can pull it out or in. See? In this mode, the automatic phase shifter decides the orientation. This system is what rotates the spacecraft 180 degrees in yaw after LV separation. Automatically orients the spacecraft after orientation, blah blah blah. There are 2 ARCUS systems, one for the automatic control called System A, one for manual control called System B. The automatic ASCS mode we just talked about using Auto RC. This is so much writing! System A uses 2 thrusters, System B has variable thrusters based on how far you push the stick. Each of those systems has their own fuel tank, good to know. And we get control fuel, so this is the fuel gauge here. If it fails or you need to manually take control, you can also use fly-by-wire, which is down somewhere. Oh yeah, fly-by-wire there. Okay, we're going to set the switch to fly-by-wire. Okay, roger. Use W and S to change attitude. Let's try it. Hey, look, we're changing orientation. And now we see the yaw turning. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's take a look outside. Oh, it's totally dark, so I can't see anything. Oh, wait, there we go. Turning towards the thing. Commander's seat. Maybe we'll get to see the thing. I can set the ASCUS mode to aux on to enable auxiliary damming. Automatically daps out to 0.5 degrees per second. Okay. If you want the spacecraft to stand still, select this mode. You might have some rotation after the FBW mode. If not, create some using FBW first. Let's try turning this again. I'm going to turn this back on and rotate. Okay, now we got this turning. I want to see if I can find the sun. That's us. Okay, there we go. Because I want to hold orientate. I want to watch the sunset. That's what I want to do. Let's see. Does it hold orientation? There we go. We get the sun here. If you want to go to fully manual propulsion system, first set ASCUS to norm. Okay. It can also be set to aux, but it doesn't matter. We're now use norm. And set the middle switch to auto. Wait, to rate whatever. Pull the black manual out. In this mode, you will be able to thrust manually in all directions, even if the electrical system should fail. So we've got none of the control systems acting here. This is totally manual. I have disabled flight assist or SAS or whatever you want, depending upon what your poison is. Why am I not working at NASA? Because I got an amazing job at my current company. That's why. Like, all this kind of happened. I've disabled my guidance system. Your computer's off. Look, what's wrong? It's a bit more complex than pressing T, yes. This is nice. Look, you can totally see. Can anyone figure out where we are over the world? I should probably take a look. Wait a second. It's F2. F3. I can't see where I am, actually. Oh, wait, there I am. I'm coming over Spain, I think. Yeah, flying over Spain, that's what I'm seeing. And that's the Mediterranean down there, so Italy should be coming over soon. It's cool, I always wanted to go to Italy. Actually, wait, what am I saying? I've already been to Italy, but I'm just saying, you know, I wanted to go to Italy as if I'm the guy flying the spaceship. Okay, in this mode, blah 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 blah, I can also change the role. So far we've looked, let's look at the last mode, Arscus. Semi-automatic mode that enables you to change attitude using the stick, but if the stick is centered it will stop anything down to 3 degrees per second. To enter Arscus mode, set the mode switch to norm, mode switch is norm. Then set middle auto switch to rate command, which is what we've got. Lastly, push the black handle in. Use W and S to change attitude. Okay, let's do this again. Well, let's take a look. Have we burned some fuel? There we go, you see? And it damps the motion, I guess. This doesn't feel any different. I'm really confused. Still, it's nice. Okay. That is North Africa there. I see the rain down in Africa. Yeah, there we go. Notice you stop any movement when you don't give any input. Okay, whatever. Let's go back to full Askis mode. Set the mode switch to norm. Set the middle switch to auto. One last thing is the ability to combine manual and Askis mode. To do this, you still need the mode switches in the norm position. And wait a sec. Askis, to do this, you need to switch the mode switches in the norm position and the auto switch to the auto position. In this configuration, drag the manual handle out. The switch capsule will still be fully automatic mode, but if you push out any of the pitch, yaw, and roll handles, okay, let's pull out yaw, then select access will be in manual mode. Oh great, so I can actually in theory yaw the capsule manually, but I can't pitch it. So there's the moon there, by the way. Let's yaw all the way around. Ah, yes, it's Arse-Kiss mode. That's exactly what it is. What are my thoughts on Void Destroyer 2? I haven't played Void Destroyer 2. I used to be the guy that I knew everything about spaceship games, and in fact, I really keep on meaning to play X4, and I feel really bad because they sent me a copy, and Bernd Lehan from Egosoft was great. I even played it for a while, but I just keep on having a hard time making it happen. Let's do that in. Ooh, wow! Look at the periscope. Okay, Anyway, try to pull out pitch now, it's telling us. Okay, pitch. Let's do the pitch down. Whoa, look at me. That's Africa there. This game is called Re-Entry. Spacecraft simulator thing. There are more configuration options, but these are the ones you really need to understand. To sum up, ASCIS is the autopilot, attitude is defined by gyros, fib, ARSCIS, MIP. Yes, and we're done! This is great that we're learning all about the Mercury space capsule, which was really an interesting first step into space. So this is me just doing all the lessons. I don't need to know the basic theory, but we got to do the staying alive. Yeah, that's very important. Obviously, you wouldn't be singing "Staying Alive" in a Mercury capsule on account of the fact that you really don't have room to do the John Travolta thing, and the fact that the song wouldn't be recorded for another 20 years, right? Well, yeah, 18. Oh, man. Distant Worlds. Is everybody out in Distant Worlds? I know. I feel like... Oh, look at that. We've lost our spaceship. We lost a bit of our spaceship somehow. Environmental control. Disco is very important to space travel, as is death metal, Queen music, rock music. Honestly, there is no music that is not essential to space travel except for... Yeah, maybe like, weird, hippie, rocket-hating music. I don't know. But you gotta play Queen songs, of course. The ECS has one primary job: to keep you alive. Alive! This means providing oxygen and regulating temperature as well, to provide water, cleaning the air, and... No, it doesn't clean your pee, though. So, just air and water. The oxygen is supplied at 5.5 psi. The launch pad is filled with pure oxygen, which is a really bad idea. Keep yourself alive. Keep yourself alive. I give you all my... What's it? All my time and money, honey, I will survive. I forget the words to that song. Queen, obviously, big fan. Coolers. Temperature can be regulated by the knobs. Yes, you can play with your knobs in the hatch and no one can stop you because they're hundreds of miles away. There are two environmental circuits. One for the cabin and one for the suit. Flows through these circuits and each has systems keep fresh. Water is used as a coolant. Two heat exchangers, one for each circuit, used to regulate temperature. Air is pushed through the cabin and the suit by 3 fan systems. One for the cabin, two for the suit, one primary and one for backup. The backup fan will automatically start if the primary fan stops. We have 2 switches for controlling the fans. We gotta say fan. Fan is obviously an acronym, by the way, because it's uppercase. See that? Oh, sorry, we should move this over here so you can see it. Fans. So these are like fast air navigator system, obviously. First, we have one for turning the cabin fan on, and on is an acronym as well, right? So it's like obviously not disabled, and OFF is obviously failing fast. If this is off, which is an acronym, or OFF, the cabin temperature will increase. Keep it on. Okay. We have the switch for manual control of the suit circuit. You can choose between norm, automatic. So this is all over here. I'm going to move the camera down so we can see, like, a lot of the stuff is over here. This entire live stream is all about Switch porn. And I'm not meaning about looking at adult content on your Switch. No, it's all about switches, knobs, gauges, and... Yeah, actually, I mean... Never mind, look. During re-entry, oxygen emergency mode will initiate this. Oxygen will go through the snorkel at a fixed rate. Bypasses the heat. That's great. You can check the amount of oxygen you have left by using the oxygen gauge. Oxygen, we have plenty of oxygen left. If the cabin pressure is outside of the normal range, below 5.5 pss, this is the normal sound. You can silence alarms by the correct tone. So tone is clearly also an acronym, right? You can silence alarms by here. See this cabin pressure? Right? So tone is time of not expiring. Or time of noise emitting. Right? That's type of noise emitting. That's what it's an acronym for. If you need, in the case of events like a fire, you can decompress the cabin from oxygen by pulling the decompress handle. Now, I think decompress is way over here. I hope I closed my visor. That other noise emitter, great. I hope I've got my visor closed. I better push this handle back in. There we go. Can repressurize the cabin by pushing. Now wait a second, has the air pressure? Yeah, cabin air has dropped a bit. Oh, look at that. Nice. So, pull that. There we go. Cabin's repressurizing. Get that air back in there. When it's at 5.5, push the handle back in. Okay. Note this consumes a lot of oxygen. Remember to check your oxygen levels frequently. How much? Wow, we look at the amount of oxygen we use. That is bad. The far right panel lets you control the temperature. When you're in the sunny side, the orbit temperature will increase and the sunny temperature. So basically, this is how you adjust, you know, your heat, and you can cook yourself if you like. Electric components produce heat too, so it's important to pay attention to the various indicators you have. It is vital to learn the normal ECS levels are to what the normal ECS levels are to understand when something is wrong. Check the gauges frequently. Good job. Good job. You know, this camera sensor really needs to recognize what a thumbs up looks like, because it's like, hey. No. This beer is kind of strong, I think. Project Mercury. Wait a second. No, we're still doing Academy. We're just learning these things. The Sequencer. Air Supply. There's a great tune. Yeah, right. No, actually, I have a very low threshold for great tunes. I mean, I could literally... I used to do a project about, 10 years ago where I would post a new, like, I would have basically, this is the best tune of the day. And it would just be like, tune of the day, every single day. Every single day. And I wrote a little article about it. Umbilical disconnect, which is obviously, you know, a euphemism for some sort of, you know, adult performance. Welcome to the Sequencer tutorial. Star Trekking by the Firm. I had their album on a cassette that a friend copied for me. There was also on that same Star Trek, and people forget there was another track called Start Wreckin', where it's sung by, like, Godzilla, and basically it's sung by the characters in the video game Rampage. Start wrecking across the universe. You know, smashing things up. I don't remember the lyrics, but I just remember that. In this lesson, we will convert the sequence programmer system, blah, 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 handles all automatically event system, ASCII, blah, 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 blah. Programmer controls the sequence system. Controls the events and states the mission. So this is basically before they had a programmer, right? Hey, Space Disco was mostly done in the days before sequencers, I will have you know, pushing robot. When disco first came out, you had to be an amazing musician to be playing disco. You had to be a tight session musician, able to keep that groove going and hit those beats and notes on cue. You had to be crisp. You had to be talented. You had to look that track in the eye and not make any mistakes. And then they invented sequencers and house music. And then any old moron could do it in their bedroom. But yeah, disco was a high point for musicians as performers, in my mind. The indicator lights is a list of lights on the left side of the panel. There we go. Each light has 3 states: unlit, normal, and crap. Pending. So here we go. We've got into space. We've jettisoned the tower. We've separated the capsule. We've not sequenced the retro because we're not ready to come home. Unlit means the event has not yet happened. Normal indicated by a green light. Pending is indicated by a red light and means that the event is about to happen. It's processing or has failed. The light will switch to green when completed. Failures will remain red. Let's quickly go through each of the lights. Jet tower indicates the tower is about to be jettisoned. Okay. Retro will turn red when the retro sequence has started and green when completed. It is started if the time to retro timer reaches 0 or the execute button next to the light is pressed. Retrograde is what enables you to fire the retro engines for re-entry. The retro delay switch in the norm means the retro fire sequence will start 30 seconds after retro. Yeah. So wait a second. Wait a second. Okay. Sequencers are very important things, by the way. So this was before they had proper computers, right? It would switch different circuits on and off. It's important as burning the retro engines in the wrong direction might make it impossible to get back to Earth. Yeah, it will kill you, basically. Red is outside correct attitude, green is inside correct attitude. The retro attitude switch can be used to bypass, so you can flip this switch off if you're like, I'm totally going to eyeball my retro re-entry thing. Fire retro will be red 10 seconds before retro engines are fired or manually by... This is really complicated stuff again. On the other side of the panel, the retro warn and tone will indicate that the retros are about to start. You see, the thing with spaceship flying is that it's not that it's harder than driving a car. It's that they have one chance to learn it in practice. Retro warn... wait, on the other side of the panel. No, okay, maybe here. Okay, never mind. So I need to replace most of the control panel for each mission. Yes. 60 seconds after retro fire, the retro engines will be jettisoned. Bingo. Okay. After retro jettison, place the attitude select switch to re-entry. There. Attitude select switch to re-entry. Oh, here's the retro delay switch here. You can also turn off the cabin lights if you want, just so you know. See? 0.05G, that's here, will illuminate when deceleration is detected. ASCUS will set the capsule into a roll for a more stable re-entry. So basically it'll start spinning the capsule around for stability reasons. Drogue can be manually deployed by pressing the button next to it. That's this thing. It's not really a button. I think you have to pull out a cable and push that, right? Snorkel will let the air into the cabin, which you don't want to do when you're in space. Main will deploy the main chutes. You can manually deploy this by using the button next to the indicator. This accounts for reserve if to main. Yeah. So you can also pull the reserve chute as well there. This is, I mean, it's nice to have this. I'm not sure it's it's really not totally accurate just yet. There's a lot of weird things I don't like about it. And the landing bag, which was back in the old days, they had this big bouncy castle that would appear underneath the spaceship to support it during landing. Okay, Roger. Rescue indicates that your rescue equipment... wait, rescue? It says landing bag. Where's the rescue light? There's the camera, by the way. Is there a rescue light over here? Retro warn, retro reset, fuel quantity excess, standby, AC auto. Bouncy castles are an amazing technology. Oh wait, here's the rescue light there. They're like Oh crap, we run out of space. Let's just put a warning light here. A set of fuses gives you more control as well, look. So, hold on. Yeah, you have the rescue aids, landing bags, all that stuff is here. So these are your fuses, right? That's it enough for this tutorial. Now let's do an exam. We've been to the academy. Let's see if we can actually look at this like we've done a pro. Any day now, Elon will get us our bouncy castle. Let's do the full mission. Oh my goodness. I asked you guys to take notes. Come on, seriously. You guys. If I die, it's your fault, right? This beer is fantastic, by the way. Welcome to the full mission. It's important to first check the mission pad after you integrate. Do this now. Okay, great. Okay, let's check checklists. Let's do pre-flight. Manual fuel handle. Let's run this. Oh, no, we don't want... This is clear. Never mind. Never mind. Final checks. Final checks. Run. Okay, so launch control. We are ready for launch. We are arming the squibs. We are arming the retro jettison. And then we will perform a radio check. Houston, can you hear me? Of course you can't, because this is a Mercury mission and Houston wasn't a thing, right? Thank you, La Roche, La Rochege. Hey, La Roches, thank you very much. I think the way, I don't know, there's just enough soft sounds in there. I think I have to do it as a French dude. Don't be offended. I mean, I love French people. I mean, yeah. We're running the time forward a little. Seriously, thanks very much for everybody that sends thanks. I love these physical clocks here. No digital displays here. Okay. Squibs are already overarmed. Yes, no, we've given the squibs more arms. Oh, it's a redstone. The good news is with this one, we're not going to screw up the re-entry. Follow the Ascent Checklist until capsule separation. Okay. Let's bring up the checklist. Ascent. Okay. Okay, we're gonna monitor the abort light. Where's the abort light? In case we need to abort. Oh, there. If we're needing to abort, we gotta look for that. Monitor the isolated battery voltage. Yeah, we better switch this to isolated then, right? That's it. Isolated. Oh, great. We still get power on that. Monitor cabin pressure. Cabin pressure is decreasing because we are going up. Oh, Albino Bob, I would love to do... I don't know how to do a long campaign. Interstellar Quest was such a thing. I don't know. I guess it just happened to be at the right time.
Cabin pressure is holding at 5.5.
There it is.
Cabin holding at 5.5.
Excellent. Okay, after tower jettison, right? So we need to flip this switch after auto retrojet after tower separation, right? And retrojet fuse to off after tower jettison. Meanwhile, we're monitoring voltage. I think it's, you know, Interstellar Quest was one of those things that I guess was just really capturing a lot of my love. This game would be better in VR, but it's also a lot easier to share this way. So I'm just going to leave this on run. After Tower Jettison, we'll flip these two switches. Let's take a look and see what we can see. Oh! Did we just jettison the tower yet? There's the tower. Okay. So let's go to commander seat. Now we disable that. And we'll disable it. Great. So retros will not be jettisoned automatically. Your visit will be brief. Retro is only a couple of minutes away. Feel free to explore with the RCS and enjoy the view. So this is us. We're up in space. And we apparently launched at night. Interstellar Quest actually took a lot less time than a lot of my other series. Believe it or not, it takes a lot more time to produce the new science content compared to what it did to produce Interstellar Quest. I mean, yeah. So the next thing that's going to happen is a retro sequencer. Because this is a suborbital flight, we don't strictly need the retro sequence. I don't know why they launched during the night for this particular version. They should fix that. But there, look, we can see Florida and Georgia. Okay, pre-retro checklist. Okay, back. Pre-retro, run. Oh, we already ran it, and it's told us we've done everything. Now we gotta do the retro checklist. Retro. Okay, these lights will happen. Retro warn light. Where's that? Retro sequence. That will happen. Where's the retro warn light? This is where it'd be nice. Ah. I think a lot of stuff in Interstellar Quest needs some rework. I liked using some. There's retro warn there, right? So when this will happen at the appropriate time. The only loading scheme, yeah. Yeah, the tower jet fuses the... There we go. Retro warning. There, shut up. There, we beeped it. Retro... attitude. Firing the retro. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. Look, we can see those engines firing. So what they would do with the retros is they had 3 solid boosters, and they would fire each separated by like 5 seconds, and they would each burn for 5 seconds. So now we're going back inside the commander's seat. We're now slowing down, so we're headed, and the next thing we're going to do is hit re-entry attitude. So I should probably jettison the retro, right? Oh, let's just do that. There we go. Roger. So I jettisoned that manually, because I guess I didn't. It's not even clear I jettisoned it, but I did. Let's do the retro re-entry checklist. Okay. Retro fire is green. Auto retro... We should have armed that, damn it. Retro jettison fuse on. Did I do that? Emergency, whatever. Jettison retro tele light goes green. Been done that. Attitude. Oh, attitude select. Re-entry. Attitude select. Shoot. Attitude select. Re-entry. Whew. So that should change our attitude. I totally was worried that I missed that. we look like we're in the correct attitude. Monitor attitude indicator until Z. So our pitch is now got higher up, right? That's the important thing. Whew. Now we're waiting for the G-force indicator to start showing something. And when that happened, look there, we've hit 0.5 G now. So we must be now actually hitting some kind of re-entry force. But I can't see anything because this simulation decided to launch me at night. Look, it's just called Capsule 1. And now you'll see that we have switched the capsule into rotation, stable rotation mode, right? So we've done all that. So the next thing will be the landing checklist. Let's run this just to make sure. Go to the commander's seat. Oh, wow! That totally doesn't look like it looked from the outside. Okay, let's switch our UHF to the correct frequency. What? Okay, that's us. We've switched our transmissions. And that seems to have stopped our re-entry. Yeah, spin stabilize for your safety and your pleasure. I'm kind of worried that the drogue doesn't seem to have deployed yet. What is the altitude? Descent rate is very high. We're at 30,000 feet. I'm kind of worried that the drogue... The drogue is out. Next will be the main chute. Great. I think I gotta check to see if I can see a parachute. There's the parachute. Okay. We've got it all on UHF. That's correct. Did I miss something about deploying a parachute? No, we've run everything. Is there anything else? Fly-by-wire? No, we've deployed everything. Let's hope that we've got a main chute up there. Descent rate seems moderately high. What is that? O2 emergency. Oh, let's open the snorkel. Oh, shush. I'm not sure that parachute is deployed. I'm kind of worried. Also, we never detracted our smoke, our thing. Well, main is out. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, now I feel better. Roger. Whew. Altitude is now about 10,000 feet. Phew. Have you ever seen a more beautiful parachute in your life? I mean, truthfully, the most beautiful parachute in your life is the one that you are hanging under at any instant in time. Apparently we're descending through some flak, yes. This is a hands-on demo for why craters are circular. A large part of that video was because there are idiot flat earthers and moon hoaxers and and the Electric Universe people that are like, well, craters should not be perfectly circular. That proves that they are fake / painted by Photoshop / created by Thunderbolts. And yeah, truth is, no, that's not. No. You want a flat... I want a flat Kerbin mod. As soon as the flat earthers have a sensible, like, model for what flat Kerbin would look like. Oh, wow, we dropped something there. What is that? That looks like it's sitting on... Is that even falling? It looks like it's just hanging there. Above the ocean. Hovering. Motionless. in exactly the same way that bricks don't. I mean, I want to be clear, like, there are degrees of crazy, and there are the moon hoaxers, the flat earthers are, like, way out there, and then you've got, like, the moon hoaxers. Those guys are weird. The electric universe people have many great qualities to them, but they are guilty of applying their ideas without really thinking whether it's a good place to apply them first. And there are many great places where plasma physics is really important, and they should totally just like focus on that. So anyway, that's my take. I want everyone to like use their skills for their powers for good. And unfortunately, the flat earthers are not in a position to do very much good. It is true, actually. You are absolutely. The Wonder Riot has pointed out that there's been some great documentation turned up by people that are trying to prove Apollo wrong, like because they've just dug around and found some cool stuff. I'm gonna try Gemini now. Gemini, whatever. I was watching Joe's video. He makes Electric Universe would be interesting if it wasn't immediately surrounded by people saying everyone is covering stuff up. Electric Universe, it's all exactly. That is exactly the point. And that's what I wanted to do with my circular creators thing, was just say, listen, if your main argument is this has to happen because we expect creators not to be circular, then you're clearly barking up the wrong tree here. Right? Oh, the drink of the night is the Firestone Walker 2017 Vintage Imperial Stout. It's 14.5% alcohol, and it's absolutely magnificent. But it's a tiny, tiny bottle, and of course it counts for like 3 bottles because it's 3 times the alcohol content. Welcome to Gemini, a capsule sitting on top of a 38-meter-high Titan launch vehicle. In this lesson, we will prepare the spacecraft so it's ready to launch configuration. This spacecraft is far more advanced than Project Mercury and contains more systems, including a computer. I will initially just explain the procedure and then I will highlight what you have to press. And by the way, this thing is also filled with toxic carcinogens that will explode if you mix them. Use them to F5 to try the different views, F5, F11 to switch views. Beautiful, huh? Click and hold the scroll wheel while moving to look around. Da 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 da. I can reassign input from the settings menu if you've done so. Follow your... Okay, never mind. Procedure we'll learn is the pre-launch procedure. Now you can use the pre-launch checklist. Pre-launch checklist. No, back. Pre-flight checklist, I think is what they mean. Let's run this. We need to ensure we're running on all the electrical power we've got. In short, the spaceship is dependent on 2 electrical power systems. We have 4 silver zinc batteries connected in series. The other is a fuel cell. Okay, so here we go. Nope. That. Then go. Bring up the squib batteries. Squib batteries coming online. Great. Now bring up the fuel cells. Fuel cells, fuel cells, fuel cells, fuel cells, fuel cells. And power. Power. Great. We're looking good. We've got stuff going on. So during launch, we want to ensure that all of the systems are in operation. This is done by selecting all that. Main battery, main battery. So this is us telling us all these things in sequence that I've run. Fuel cell, on. Fuel cells weren't in the early Gemini, incidentally, by the way. Yeah, I think silver zinc is pretty much obsolete at this point. The main DC bus is now powered by both systems. The pyrotechniques are dependent on another isolated power system, the common control bus. This system is powered by 3 silver zinc squib batteries and should stay on for the duration of the entire mission. They are turned on by setting the 3 squib position. Oh, here. Wait, we get something here to click. Okay. Oh, we set the squibs on as well. Common control bus is powered by pyrotechniques. For security reasons, this system needs to be armed as well. Set boost insert to arm. This arms all the squibs. Did we do that? I hope so. Set boost insert to the arm position. That's not what it is. It's now telling me to set the thing. I'm really... Let me just check over here. Boost insert. Bus arm. Squib. Agena control. Does anyone see the boost insert switch? That's for the computer. That's not what we're looking for. This is powering up the computer right now. I'm just going to say yes. Let's power up the computer. Okay. And this is the way we talk to the computer. See, this reads memory addresses here. This is cool. You can actually see the memory thing spooling up. Squib boost. Oh, that's what we needed here. There we go. The 4 retro rocket engines can also be set to arm. Oh, here we go. So let's arm the rocket engines. Roger, roger, roger. Let's wait, these are all retro squibs? All this need to turn on the computer, set the power to on when the computer, it needs 20 seconds of self-test. So the computer is doing self-tests. And the keyboard, this is the keyboard here, by the way. When it's saying keyboard, it's more like a number pad. Both are turned on by setting the MDU power switch to on. You might see the computer self-test running, but the display should end up with zeros. You see? It's all zeros, and what you can do is type in an address and then read it out, and then modifying it. If not, you can press clear. While the computer is running, let's set up the environmental control system. So up here, up the top. So we're going to switch these on. The cooling of the spacecraft is done by a liquid cooling system. Okay. Spacecraft has 2 of these cooling systems, each independent of each other, using pumps. The coolant flows through the primary coolant pump to A. Roger. B to on. Roger. Secondary coolant pump. Roger. Great. Roger. Also set the suit fan to the down 1 and 2 position to turn on both fans during launch. Pay attention to the cabin temperature. The coolant pumps and fans will usually be on until adapter separation. Roger. The computer needs to be turned on in the pre-launch mode. It is in the pre-launch mode, right? But now that it's on, set it to the Ascent mode. So there, ask. There we go. So this is the computer being switched to Ascent mode. I've discovered, by the way, if you toggle the hatch at the wrong time, it blows you up. This will load and ready the Ascent module and is automatically started during launch. If the computer light is green, the computer is working. If the malfunctioning light is amber, the reset is required. It's neither. Do not press this now, but if the computer light is not illuminated green during launch, start it manually by starting the okay, roger. All that is left now is to let Mission Control know you are ready using the radio command menu. Press ready to launch. Ready to launch. Roger. Once the countdown reaches 0, the rocket will launch and ascend into orbit automatically. Feel free to take a look around the cockpit and get familiar with it. Oh, we're not going to actually launch now? What a jip! I'm going to have to do this again now. Okay, now we're going to do Ascent. Do I know of Dr. Paul Matt Sutter? His book is pretty good so far. I don't. There's so many people I wish I knew more about. Oh, the T-handle thing that was carried during the Gemini EVA was essentially a little thruster. It was a handheld thruster they used for trying maneuvering. We will learn how to ignite those engines of this 38-meter long Titan and ride this to orbit. First, we need to repeat the steps we learned in Lesson 1. However, instead of telling me what to do, we will use the provided checklists. Great. Roger. Press M to look at the mission pad. Pre-flight. Roger. This guide will highlight the switch you need to modify in order the checklist. Okay, let's do this again. Let's do the actual checklist. Pre-flight checklist. Run it. And remember to motion... okay, so... let's bring the batteries up. So the battery panel is here. So click, 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 click. So this is bringing up the squibs. And then, oh, sorry about that. Bring up the fuel cells. Then bring up the power buses. Now we're going to start up the computer in Ascent mode. And turn the computer readout thing on. Then over here we're going to start firing up these. Great. Okay, next. Up here we're going to work on the environmental control systems. So we're starting up the fans, setting the suit fans running, and switching the computer mode. The computer does seem to be ready, so we'll switch it to Ascent mode, and we are ready to launch. Roger. Then use the time scale to step to launch. So I'm going to run fast to launch. Oh, let's take a quick look at the exterior. We haven't took a look at the exterior of this magnificent Titan launch vehicle. Of course, developed to launch nuclear missiles, but in this case we will be launching something a whole lot more precious. Oh, okay. I should definitely take a look at that. I obviously I love those guys. It's funny, I meet these guys every now and then. I need to do another thing with Fraser because he's great. Or Fraser, not Fraser. Fraser. Anyway, back to the commander's seat. Let's run the time forwards a little faster. Wow! I just took a little too big a gulp of that. The camera loves my face palms.
10, 9,
8, 7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
Oh yeah!
Liftoff.
I loved it. We've got one LR87 AJ7 engine with 2 nozzles producing 1.9 meganewtons of thrust. Liftoff. During launch, it's important to pay attention to your instruments. You should develop a vision circle, going through vital info in turn. During the first, start with the altimeter. Okay, I'm checking it. I should be looks like I am climbing steadily. Roger, keep an eye on the fuel and the oxidizer. I am keeping an eye on it. Roger. Ensure the G-forces are fine. These look good. The FDA... where is that? Okay. The voltmeter is there, just in case. Yep. Volts are looking good. Cabin suit temperature is showing that I am one hot mama. Okay, we've got to fix the Titan. It's 2 stages with an adapter in between. That's right. I like the fact that they had the proper sound effect of the LR87 engine. So the LR87 engine, unlike a lot of engines, it has... So to start up a rocket engine, you need to spin up the turbo pumps, right? And then the turbo pumps start running the fuel. Now, the space shuttle and other spacecraft, they would run the helium through it. But in the case of the LR87, they had a little solid rocket motor that they would fire to spin up the turbo pumps so that then the fuel could run it. And that's why it made this kind of sound. It was really kind of cool. If you just go and listen to it. Anything more terrifying than 2 seconds either side of engine ignition. Let me tell you. Like, I mean, obviously we've just had another, anniversary of Challenger. And, the guys at Thiokol, they knew the temperatures were way below what they'd asked for the launch to be called off, and they were just like crossing their fingers and praying for the first few seconds. And you know, the space shuttle got up, and about a minute in, like one of them's just like, there's a story, one of them just turns to the other and say, I think we've made it, I think we're okay. And of course 2 seconds later the thing just explodes, breaks up. Yep, the famous whoop is very special. It's one of my favorite special moments. Here we go, we got stage set here.
Roger, staging.
At least they've made it kind of float away at a reasonable speed. Rocket will now focus on building orbital speed to insert the spaceship into a parking orbit. An important feature of the Gemini capsule is that it is equipped with translational thrusters in addition to attitude thrusters, as it allows the capsule to modify it. You can monitor the Stage 2 propellant using the Fuel 2 Oxide gauge. This will give you an indication. Let's do that. There it is there. See that? So this is a second stage fuel gauge here. Once you reach orbit, the computer, if it is running and is in the ascent mode, which it is, ask comp, will enter an initial parking orbit on the left side of the commander seat, just below the F die, which is basically, you know, if your friend has died, you press F to pay respects. So this is F die. You can see the IVI. Once stage 2 is complete, the computer will show you your difference using the 3 values here. On the left side, commander seat, FD, where, FD, oh yeah, here. Wait, is this it? No. I'm looking for this F die thing. Oh, flight, the attitude indicator. Duh. You can see the IVI, right? This is your, okay, 3 values. Bingo. I have, listen, I'm a DJ. I have a lot of favorite whoops. I mean, there's like whoop, there it is, but that is nothing compared to the LR87 firing up, right? That is the real favorite whoop. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Right? You know, seriously, right? We will do this once there's a successful stage 2 cutout. The green screen is not actually green. In fact, let me just show you the magic of this non-green screen. Ta-da! Look, it's like science. By the way, I should bring in my buddy, Lord Vader, that I just picked up this week. I know I'm terrible. I was at the Lego store and I bought this. I mean, the Lego models are kind of lame, but look, his arm swings. Yeah. But the coolest part of this Lego model,
Roger, Seco.
that cutoff is so amazing that it has 2 T's. That is how cutting it is. While the computer is calculating, let's separate stage 2. This is done manually by pressing the sequencer light that is illuminating. Where the crap is it? Where's the light? Oh, up here, yeah. Bingo. Just check exterior view. That doesn't look very separated. Oh, there, it's just sliding off there, ruining my heat shield. When you see when an astronaut dies inside a spacesuit, yes, it would probably do that. Okay. Okay. Roger. Great. Another important step is to jettison the horizon scanner covers. That's the fairing, right? There we go. So now, see this, get the covers popping off into space. So those are the things that are scanning the horizon to, you know, control my attitude. Roger. good. Oh, wow. Wait a second. Hold on. Hold on. Commander seat. Where the crap am I? Oh. This usually takes up to 2 minutes. We'll form a snap to the new orientation at this point. Now let's go back to the IVUS again. That's here. They're controlled using a computer and is used frequently throughout the mission. Okay. Shows you how much you need to modify your speed to enter the correct planned orbit. To modify our orbit, you need to use a system called OMS, right? Orbital Attitude Maneuvering System. We will get back to OMS and Arcus in the orbital navigation lesson. Now just follow my instructions. You need to enable the OMS system to fire the thrusters done with 2 switches. First, open the propulsion valves. Okay, where are those? There we go. Propulsion valves open. Then enable the power to the system using control power. We have the power. The OMS system is enabled. It is very important that you always disable OMS system directly after use to reduce the possibility to bump into the translational joystick. Now you can use translational stick to zero the IVUS using UO and IGU and IKE. Okay, so wait a second, I want to look here, right? I want to set these numbers, right? Wait a second. Oh, wait a second, this way. Ah, there. There's some, this is me zeroing out the velocity here, right? There we go, you see? That's cool, that's how the computer works. It tells us just how much we have to burn. I'm gonna get these things to 0 because that's what I do. This seems to be taking a long time. Really? Uh-oh. There we go. I was pushing the wrong button. Apparently up and down. Wrong way. I was pushing the wrong firing button. I wonder how much fuel I wasted there. It says propellant quantity is 0, so that's probably a bad sign. Well, Roger. So yeah, Darth Vader, Lego store. Obviously this is all made from Lego parts. You can see if I look at it very carefully that it's all Lego articulation and you can pose him. But the best part of this Lego kit is you can pop off his helmet. Wait a second, his helmet's kind of stuck. There we go. My god. And now you can see Darth Vader with the helmet removed. And you know the best thing is, right? If we disable show back, or I want to see. Oh, look, we can totally see his face. There, look, he's showing up as a co-presenter. Luke, help me take this mask off. I have killed the Emperor and... You were right. Tell your sister. You were right. So yeah, you get a separate helmet, which is neat. I don't know, it was on discount and I was like, oh man, I'm such a sucker for Darth Vader because, you know, he has the power. Don't be so proud of this technological terror you've discovered. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force. Don't try to frighten us with those... Don't try to frighten us with those sorcerer's ways, Vader. Your inability to... Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up those stolen data tapes. Nor has it given you clairvoyance enough to... Do I like any of the... I love Rogue One. Rogue One was fantastic. And I've enjoyed all the new stuff a lot more than I enjoyed the prequels. Like, in every case, the new Star Wars stuff is superior to the prequels. And I'm gonna say that The Last Jedi, the lightsaber battle in that movie, is one of the finest action scenes in any movie ever. Right? And I understand why people don't like that movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. But I understand why you don't like it, but I still think it was fantastic. Okay, we're powered by two systems. Primary power source. The secondary is powered by 4 silver zinc batteries, which we talked about. Fuel cells are installed in the adapter section, blah blah blah. Fuel cells are the reaction supply. The ionization of these substances produces electricity and water. Science. M. Shupon. Rogue One is getting a TV series based upon Cassian Andor's adventures before Rogue One. So I'm hoping to see a lot of that. Okay. The 2 fuel cells capable of running the spaceship alone, but since they are located in the adapter, it will be separated before the retrograde burn. Roger. From the... It's Patrick is talking to me. I'm guessing that's the guy that developed it. Patrick, I love you for developing this. Not in a sexy way, but in a, like, I appreciate the work you have done for the community of space nerds. The power sources be configured using switches on the right hand. Co-pilot, so this would be here. This is where the power supplies are, I believe. Each of the fuel cells have 3 power stacks, A, B, and C. Great. You can turn each stack inside each fuel cell on and off in case of a malfunction. And we can also see fuel cells doing stuff here. I would love to see some adventures after Rogue One. I loved Rogue One in so many ways. It was at once a Star Wars movie, and yet it was orthogonal to existing Star Wars movies. Using the voltmeter, you can see the volts of each stack. Yes, we can. You can also use the DC voltmeter to turn the knob to select which stack to monitor. Turn it to stack 1B. There we go, 1B. We are monitoring it now. Solo wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either, and I'm going to say the best thing about Solo was Lando. We wanted to see a lot more Lando. Well, and yeah, definitely I would love to see Lando come back for the 3rd sequel, because he's pretty awesome. And a lot of people are complaining about the humor. It's like, guys, you just didn't realize how much bad jokes were in the original Star Wars. It's just you grow up with it, right? I've watched... I got up every single day before school to watch a Star Wars movie at 6 a.m. every single day. I know those scripts inside out. I know where they're bad. I know where they're good. And I love them all and accept their flaws. And I had no problem enjoying the prequels. Like, I enjoyed the prequels for what they were. But yeah, Lando is one of my favorite characters. Fuel cells are consuming all cryogenic. You can use the cryo thing to observe it. Let's go over here. Sorry, I'm just moving around to see the cryo. Oh, looks like we don't have much here. It's off by default. Turn the cryo selector. There we go, so now we can see it. Okay, to H2. There we go, so we can see the cryo thing. Cryo is all involved in a deep topic. Roger. Well, let's turn it off by default. The other power sources are batteries. There are 4 batteries. They can be turned on or off on the right side panel, like we learned. Both these power sources are connected to the main DC bus. We gotta keep a map of this. Billy D. Williams, I'm gonna say, like, Childish Gambino, man, you know, whoa. Sorry, Donald Glover. Like, I'm serious. Like, I wouldn't, as much as I like Billy D. Williams, I wouldn't have a problem if they took Donald Glover and then got him to do the old Lando parts and, like, did a special edition with just more Donald Glover. Like, oh. Seriously. I wasn't totally happy with the Kessel Run explanation, but yeah, whatever. I know, but I love that. Every scene where he was on screen in Solo was the best. There was actually every single scene in Solo was really neat, but it didn't hang together as a movie. I think that's it, right? A few switches used to arm the squibs, like boost, insert, and I think they should have just kept it for like Christmas. They shouldn't have rushed it out for Easter or whatever. That was a dumb move. Landing squibs. It's important to disarm the squibs that are not in use to prevent accidents. Each main battery is a test switch. They can be used to test BT mode. Bluetooth, obviously, because this is a Gemini capsule. And switch to test. So test is obviously an acronym here. Does anyone have an acronym for test? Yeah. But the squib battery should fail. You can use the bus time. You forget the batteries. Bitterly poor. Well, so NASA pronounced it Gemini, but I would pronounce it Gemini, so I'm always torn. It's a very hard decision for me to make that. Okay, well that was us. Not very much here. Oh dear. Oh my goodness! I'm gonna try electric sparky thing. That is correct. Well done, maybe so 83. You are the winner. A winner is you. Although I'm gonna say, Stashman 26 was offered some pretty formidable competition there. How is this game? This game is fun if you like flipping switches, but it isn't accurate and it doesn't model the orbit correctly. I'm very disappointed by that because it's so trivial to model the orbits correctly. Okay, many systems in space with the Gemini spaceship. Don't worry if you feel overwhelmed, and I would recommend checking out the guidance and control section of the Gemini Flight Manual too. This spaceship can be controlled along the pitch, roll, and yaw axes and can translate along all longitudinal axes. An axis this means the spaceship can alter the orbital path. We'll dive deeper. We can focus on the spaceship, can orient it in short. The propulsion system is receiving firing commands. Blah blah blah. Acme. We have literally an Acme piece of hardware. Attitude control maneuvering electronics. The Acme receives input from other systems. Yeah, the orbits are pretty much predefined. It's very frustrating. Or the horizon scanners the computer. The IGS provides an inertial platform. The inner horizon, that's here. Sensors then exposed to space. The Acme is your main interface to controlling. Okay, so we gotta find the Acme here. And it's blue. Here we go. The attitude control. Set it to direct. Great, we have set it to direct. CC. There are two main sets of thrusters. One is the adapter and retro section and is named ohms. It is your primary attitude control system. Another is the Arcus system and is in the capsule. These are used during re-entry. Manual control can be obtained by setting the attitude control to either rate command, direct, pulse, and re-entry. Rate command. Assuming direct control. Man. Yes. To be able to fire the ohm system using the stick controllers, you now need to enable the ohm system. Let's do this now. So that'll be down there, right? Bingo! I knew it. Then enable the ohms power. Now with the Acme set to direct and ohms enabled, you can alter the attitude using the WUS. Try to play around with this now. Okay, so let's move the viewpoint over so I can actually see what I'm looking at. So I'm turning the spacecraft to look up towards the horizon. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Look at that horizon there. Let's try rolling it. See? Let's try spinning. That's a good trick, right? Great, okay. Also set it to rate command and pulse to see let's the difference. Okay, so let's set it to pulse. Right, okay. I'm just gonna try something here. Outside view. Okay, well, I'm spinning out of control here, but whatever. Oh, look, there's sunrise! If no, the rate command will stop the rates if no input is given in. Pulse will only fire the thrusters for milliseconds. That's good to know. Commander seat again. So let's switch to... where's it? Rate? Oh, rate command, sorry. Let's try and find the sun. We'll oh, okay, so rate command will stop the things if no input is given. So this is basically stabilization. So I'm looking for the sun. There's the sun. I'm now blind. Hey, Sparks! Oh, yeah, Nahachi. You have just subscribed and you are... Oh, wait, that was sunset, apparently. Darn, we just missed sunset. Roger. Platform is used to let the IGS control the spacecraft. This is handy if you need to attempt other staffs and can be though of like an autopiloto. Let's do this. Wait a second. Plat. We're gonna get platinum. Autopiloto. Go on, autopiloto. We are setting the Acme to autopiloto. Plat, sorry. So we can get the autopiloto. Here comes the sun, da 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 da. Here comes the sun, I say. It's alright. At the IGS mode above to SEF, this stands for sharp end forwards. Oh, that's interesting. Really? Really? Does it mean spacecraft sharp end forwards? So, there we go. So it should now turn to face the direction forwards. Papers, please voice. Oh my god, I haven't done that in such a long time. Papers, please. Glory to our Stotska. Glory to our Stotska. Yes, we work every day for the government. Glory to our Stotska. Comrade, I am seeing that your documents are not to be inspected in Yes. That was a really terrible and awful and amazing series. I mean, Lucas Pope is a genius, and I totally approve of everything he does. As you can see, the spaceship will try to move in a prograde direction. The attitude will be read. We use a flight director, F-Die. F-Die does look like it's doing that. There are 2 of these installed. Oh, I wonder if I can roll the spacecraft. Nope. Each can be configured individually. Set the commander's F-Die source to plat. There we go. Wait. No, we want to receive signals from the platform. Okay. And set the data we want to see to attitude. Rate will show angular rates. The amount of propellant. We're missing a lot of these. Oh, wait, there's stuff here. Hold on, what is this being set to? Set the selector to ohms. I don't see. Oh, wait, there it is. There. I'm sorry, it's very hard to post links on account of the fact that I don't have any moderators that can approve of any of that stuff.
Yeah, no, but not only that, just Papers, Please is one of the finest modern indie games. And The Return of the Obra Dinn is certainly not at the same level of cultural significance, but it is absolutely, undeniably a perfect work of video game art. Let's bring up the computer. No more beer. This was really fantastic. If you haven't played Papers, Please, you should absolutely go and look it up. It is something that is politically educational and entertaining. It will make you laugh, it will make you cry, it will make you feel like you're evil or a hero or you have betrayed your country or all of the above at the same time. The computer is used as a navigational aid throughout the mission. It is a binary fixed point stored program general purpose computer. It uses input from many other systems on the spaceship. In short, it is a work of digital art. An auxiliary tape machine system can be used to load various modules from a tape. They had a tape in space. Typically, each phase takes a dedicated module. The computer is controlled using the computer selection and the alt center pedestal, which is this. The on-off switch gives the computer power. The mode switch is used to select the module to run. The start button will start the computer when a module is loaded. The loading can take up to 10 minutes, with the exception of the pre-launch and the Ascent mode, which is instantly loaded. If the computer should fail, Malf will illuminate. If this happens, you can reset the computer using the reset. That's important. When a module is loaded, you need to press start to start running the computer. How do I know when it's loaded? That's what I don't know. The computer is controlled and modified by checking the changing memory values. So this is here, right? So you type in the address that you want to read out, which is a 2-digit address, right? And then you can read out the value in the address in these 5 digits here, and then you can change it and then enter it back in if you like. The display unity needs to be turned on using the power switch. Beep. It is located set to on. Let's try to turn on the computer itself by setting the power switch to on. There we go. We have been in space and the power is not on. Take a look at the display unit. It will, using F10, it will spend 20 seconds on self-tests. It should stop showing numbers and revert to 0 when ready. If it does not revert to 0, you can press clear once the counting stops. When ready, set the computer module to ask for Ascent. That looks like it's done. Let's set it to Ascent. Roger. Start the computer programming by pressing start. So now the computer is running, but we are in space and it is in Ascent mode, which makes no sense. Now press F10 to move to MDUI. I'm not going to do that. This is the MDUI here, right? The display unit has 2 address numbers and 5 data numbers. Address what computer memory you're addressing, right? So we're going to read the memory from location core 98. This is the current apogee of your orbit. So what we're going to do is press 9, right? And 8, because I got to click through it, otherwise it won't work. And now you press read out and it shows you the value. Ta-da! So our current apogee is 6,716. And be aware that is in kilometers. Yes, I did see the Papers, Please short film. And I can use 99 to check the perigee, so there we go. So what we've got to do is clear and do 99, read out. Bang! 6680. Why is it in kilometers? I don't honestly know. I'm now curious. If I go and look for the Gemini computer documentation, will it give me a perigee in kilometers? So yeah, 56 is target orbit, right? And 57 is the other. So let's try and set 56 and press clear. So first, let's set the value of 56, and then press readout. So that's the value here. The target is 6532, correct. This can be different for you. The leading 0 is important. Now, the endpoint pointer is still the first digit, so press 0. Press 6. Press 5. Why can't you do this in a single statement? 0. 5. Roger. Now we get to enter that. So this is poking it into the memory location. Please note that the computer will automatically set the inserted value to AP or PE based on whether it's higher than the other value. If AP is 5670, blah 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 blah. Okay. So, this is how you operate the computer. I strongly recommend you check the computer section of the Gemini flight manual to understand in details what all the modules do and what each memory core means. And that's as far as we get. So we don't actually get to flying a thing. And it's 10 to midnight, and I do actually need to have work and everything tomorrow. Right now, I'm dealing with a horrible low-level data marshalling issue, and I need to have all my wits about me. So I am actually going to call an end to this night. But, I don't know. Should I open up a spaceship model first? Because I've got some of these things sitting around. I think I'll bring out a spaceship model for shits and giggles. Let's just do that. Hold on. I gotta find a spaceship model. More spaceship models. Let's just make it full screen. Because we're at the end of this stream. And, you know, webcam 2... Hey, it's full screen, look! X-Wing simulator model. So we have... Not simulator. Board game. Tabletop war game. This is the Upsilon class shuttle. That is basically Kylo Ren's shuttle from the Force Awakens. And The Last Jedi. But, you know, yeah. He'd spent a lot more... He doesn't fly He doesn't fly a TIE fighter in The Force Awakens, so this is his only spaceship in that. And honestly, I got this because it's a bargain at $15 right now. Super, super cheap. So I'm just taking the shrink wrap off it. That is how fresh this is. Oh yes. Why is Valium? You know, as much as I love the hosting, I am about to go off air, and I have stopped playing video games. Instead, I am looking at gorgeous and sexy models for a board game. So this is for X-Wing Miniatures game, where you basically get a gorgeous model, and you get a bunch of cards, and then you push things around the board, and you go pew 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 pew, and like, I will show you the power of the dark side. It's, you know, that's really, you gotta, there's a bit of role playing sometimes to really play this well. I'm not gonna look at the models just yet. I'm not gonna look at the cards just yet. Valium. It's cool. I'm stripping the spiral staircase is in the process of having the paint stripped off it, which is a really hard process because I don't want to poison everyone. So here we have the model of the Upsilon class shuttle. It's so gorgeous, and you can't see just how gorgeous this is. And I think the wings totally work. It is a bat wing. This thing like stands over so many other models in the game. I don't really want to play this anymore because you have to buy a completely separate conversion kit to fly with it, but it's only $15, and it's like it's a big shit. It's a big model. Ooh, that is so sexy. Look at those wings. This thing would totally not be aerodynamically stable. This is... I am a big fan of board games which get you thinking, and I love Star Wars Armada, but unfortunately it's not as popular as X-Wing Miniatures game. X-Wing Miniatures game has been such an absolute behemoth. It's almost as popular as Warhammer 40k. Like, that's where we're at now. So yeah, what you do is you get a bunch of cards, you get a base with it, and you get little stories, like you get a special mission for it. Have I played High Frontier is one of these games I would love to play. I would love to do a video about it. But I've not been able, and I've got tried to recruit people in my Discord server to play High Frontier. But it's hard. Yeah. It's hard. So yeah, you have like models and condition cards. Oh wait, this one doesn't have a mission. Oh, well, this one doesn't have a special mission. That's sad. All the other ones have really cool special missions. I just bought this because the model, it was so cheap. I'm gonna put this on a stand and have it sitting in my shelves behind me. Have I played Leaving Earth? No, I haven't. I unfortunately have to play games that my kids play with me, and so, that's hard. Some games work better. Tabletop Simulator is great, but I don't really have time. Where the toe catches the cuff of your other pant leg. What are you talking about there? Yeah, I'm just going to put this on a base. Ah, there. So you see, it sits on a base and you can move it around the board strategically and blow things up. And I thoroughly recommend these kind of war games. Believe it or not, X-Wing Simulator, or X-Wing, I keep saying X-Wing Miniatures game is vastly cheaper than almost every other miniatures game to get into. You don't need a ton of money to field a pretty good squad. Minecraft. Believe it or not, I've just got into Minecraft again. I've got into it again as in... I used to be in... Fun story. You know the reason why I started playing Kerbal Space Program was because I saw a post that said, there's this new game that's got rockets, and it could be the new Minecraft. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. That was it. I was a big Minecraft fan, and I still am. Here we go. I'm gonna set up my Upsilon class model thing. Incidentally, by the way, I think this April will be 10 years since the launch of Infiniminer, which is what was Minecraft. What Minecraft was before it was Minecraft. I don't have the time to do proper, Minecrafting. I just like it as a fun way to spend time, really. I would sit on the train and do Minecraft. And you know what I can't find? Is... I'm missing the pieces to make my thing. My little maneuver thing. Have I played Dwarf Fortress? I haven't, but I've seen people play it, and I totally appreciate what the developers do. So yeah, the model comes with a bunch of cards. We have Snapshot, you see, which lets you perform an attack against an enemy ship after they perform a maneuver. And so you get General Hux, who you get to laugh at for being a whiny thing. You get Kylo Ren with his lightsaber. Wait. Sorry, I'm doing this the wrong way. I'm holding it. Yes, Kylo Ren. It's true. You know what also is a great game to hear about and sometimes not as fun to play is Crusader Kings. Ops Specialist. Hyperwave Comm Scanner. That's interesting. Targeting Synchronizers. Ion Projector. Kylo Ren's shuttle. And then we have skills like Fanatical Devotion and I'll show you the dark side. When this card is assigned, if it is not already in play, the player who's assigned it searches the damage deck for one damage card with the pilot trait and may place it face up on this card, then shuffle. When you shuffle, basically it's like, I will give you pilot damage because I am Kylo Ren. Yeah, board games, I love them. I love them, but I can't find a way to make my, I'm missing a piece here. That is unfortunate. I'm sure it'll turn up. But in the meantime, I am getting ready to go to sleep. You know, I've heard, what is it, Rocket Sage, she was the one, she's a geologist that loves to do science on Twitch, and she specifically talks about how she likes Dwarf Fortress as a teaching thing, because there's a lot of actual mineralogy that goes on in Dwarf Fortress. So there, I'm gonna just give a shout out to Rocket Sage and her friends that are geologists that actually understand the power of Dwarf Fortress. And yeah, I think I'm missing some stuff. So this will just have to be for show and nothing else. But thank you very much for tuning in. I am Scott Medley, and you will, of course, fly safe or you will regret it. Seriously, you are not going to get away with not flying safe.